Here we have a find user by credential. We know there's only one folk that is going to have that username, so we use the find one to just return that one single document. So let's expose this in a API. What we might do here is, because we are reading, we're reading from the database. We know that it should be a get operation. So let's try and do that. So we say app.get, right? And here what we could do is API users. Now it's kind of a little weird here what to put here, right? Because notice that we need to pass two arguments. We need to pass the username and password, right? There's several ways of doing it. So one of the ways would be to perhaps encode username in the URL. All right, let's play around with that for a second, and then we'll come back. We'll come back to this. So here we have the password. We have the request and response, and presumably the username and password will be available in the parameters. So we can retrieve them and parse them. We say that the username, we're going to parse it from the params. So this is going to be request dot params dot username. Right, and same thing with the password. So request.params.password. Right, once we have that, we can then use the DAO, user DAO, right, to find user by credential, and we can pass the username and the password. Then is going to retrieve the actual user that matched, right, and we're just going to return it back to the client. So this will be response.sendBack the user. Okay. All right, so let's try it out. Let's run this server, and let's get back to our trusty browser, right? And we know that we have Alice in there that also have Alice as a password, and it did not quite work. Looks like I misspelled something. Credentials. This is users model. Okay, misspelled that. Let's run that again. Let's try that again. There it is, Alice, Alice. I can also retrieve Bob and Bob, username and password. There we go. So we are able to retrieve that one single document, right, using encoding the username and password in the URL. But as we know, right, we should never encode information that might be private. Or that we do not want to divulge. So let's look at a couple of alternatives.